Will the rapture happen tomorrow? This is Inverted World Live. Well, this is Inverted World Live, and the world is always ending. So we're going to talk about it. We got a new prediction for tomorrow from a certain pastor. We will read that article in just a moment, but welcome back to Inverted World Live. We are glad you're here. I am your host, Shane Cashman. I just ran over here from Timcast IRL. Fun show. And in about 30 or so minutes, we're going to get to phone calls. If you have a strange story you want to share with us, give us a call. The link will be pinned on the chat on both Rumble and YouTube. You can talk about what we're talking about at the top of the show, this rapture that is incoming tomorrow, according to a pastor, or you can share some strange story that's been on your mind. There's no theme, so we just love to hear from you guys, no matter what it is. I am, of course, joined by Brandon. Hello, sir.
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Shane? Welcome back for another week of madness. Let's get weird.
Sir.
What's going on, everybody? What's up, Shane? Welcome back for another week of madness.
It's the ghosts of 5 minutes ago.
Hey.
Or 5 seconds ago.
That was the, yeah. I had some issues with the stream earlier, and I had to take it down and put it back up, and that was the effect of that getting reloaded and not remuted. So fantastic finish for all of that nonsense today.
Awesome. It's all good, dude. Well, I'm glad to be back in here and seeing all
you got sound over there?
This is Inverted World Live.
See, how the hell are they both doing this? This is incredible.
I'm replicating in my ears.
This is incredible.
Okay. It's all good.
Everything is good now.
It's all good.
That's it.
Let's just see what happens if there's 5 of me speaking at the same time.
So we started this show off with 2 of these lit, full audio out, and you had no sound, right?
Yeah.
And somehow in the last 30 seconds, I managed to fix all that. So I think we're good to roll.
Dude, you're great at steering the ship, even in crazy waters.
This is terrible. All right.
Well, what's up, guys? How are you? I hope you had an okay weekend, a safe and happy weekend. The world is always ending, depending on who you talk to. Every generation seems to feel like they're going to be the one to see the end. It's kind of like a narcissism thing, but that's not up to me.
We're still having bad audio apparently.
Sorry, guys. We'll get there.
No, this is like the board is giving us an issue here, like to the point to where we sound, I think, like robots.
Oh, nice. Is that what you guys are saying out there? We sound like robots?
So we have to, I think I have to try to kill this really quick, which is stupid.
Okay.
Because otherwise this is going to be 2 hours of this. So.
Oh, yeah, they're saying dollar store mics.
Yeah, hang on a second, guys.
Yep. What's your plan?
I have to kill the soundboard and bring it back up.
Goodness, can you guys hear us?
Check. Hey.
Are we back? Can you guys hear us? This is a crazy.
Do you got?
We're working on it. I can hear myself. Can you guys hear us? Okay, you guys can hear us. Yeah, fail. I see that.
I see fail. I see fixed.
Yep,
I see good. Okay, cool. Dude, I hate this board.
Cornelia said Cloud Boy ruined the audio. I had a feeling. I was going to walk over here and he was going to press that button.
And believe it or not, actually, I have an IT background. Everyone's joking about have you turned it off and turn it back on. That's exactly what you have to do in that situation, which is why we were dead for 45 seconds, is because the stupid road had to reboot. Let us know if that happens again. There's some serious gremlins in the studio today. Bunch of bullshit, but let's try to get back on track now that we've lost 5 whole minutes of our
Carrie
life.
said it's better now, but sounds a bit thick. THICC.
Okay. Is that bad?
I don't know. That's what the kids are saying.
Where I come from, thick is with 2 C's is good. So
no, I'm not firing the producer. Brandon's the best. Come on. It's Cloud Guy. We know that. Darth Vader said the Cloud Ghoul. That was fun. I've been wanting to talk to him for quite some time. And I would like to do it more. Despite our disagreements, I would like to have a longer conversation with him because there are some things we do agree on. Christ being one of them. But there's so many avenues to go down, and it was fun to have at least, I don't know, what was that, 5 or 10 minutes to talk about it on IRL. Shout out to Bill Gates for making that transition tonight.
Bill Gates.
Yeah. We were talking about geoengineering, and of course I had to make it about cloud seeding. But all right, we're glad we're back. That was a fun IRL. Glad you guys are here now joining with us. Yes, I am sweating because I ran here over from the IRL compound as fake clouds were chasing me right over me. Worse than drones. The fake clouds, they know me. They can zero in on me. It's a problem, guys. It's a problem. I'll document it one day. But yeah, make clouds great again. Make the sky great again. But no, I mean, shout out to him for talking. He doesn't know he's booked on Monday with the fake cloud guy. And, you know, clearly he had seen some things I said in the past on Twitter, which I do not regret, but because I feel very strongly about this stuff. But that said, awesome for him to talk about it, and he has a lot of dialogue about it. So that's great. And yeah, so thanks, guys. I'm seeing you all in the chat. Appreciate that. Thanks for the kind words. We are glad to be back. Boutique Architecture says fake clouds are real. It is a very real scourge. And our friend Augustus is just one tiny facet of the fake cloud hierarchy that I'm trying to dismantle. So on to the next one. But like I was saying at the beginning of this podcast, before the gremlins infiltrated the wires,
bastards,
as they have done in the past, it's been quite some time. And Brandon, good job over there, dude.
We had a good streak, man.
Good job. It's all good. So what I was saying was this pastor, he's been warning that a rapture is coming tomorrow. So let's get into it. I'm going to read from the Daily Star. There are so many places. It was hard for me to pick which one to choose from. There was one that looked like better, but they had a grammatical error in their headline. It just made me sick. I couldn't do it. So we have this. Pastor warns, rapture is coming tomorrow, and the world will end as Jesus is on his way. After a preacher predicted the rapture is happening tomorrow, Christians are very nervous, not about the prospect of seeing Jesus, but what's going to happen to their dogs. I don't have dogs. I do have a cat. He's an indoor-outdoor cat, and every now and then I think the CIA takes him and implants listening devices into his ears. So it's a problem that we're dealing with at home, but I think I have it under control. So I'm not worried about the cat so much. And I'm not worried at all because it's in God's hands. Whatever's going to happen, God's going to do it. And that's on his schedule. It's not for me to panic about. But I have always been fascinated with these predictions. There's a lot. I'm going to go through some of those past predictions after this article. But let's get into it. Christians are panicking after a preacher went viral revealing when Jesus is coming to earth. South African pastor Mr. Joshua Makela, I hope I'm saying Malekela, dropped a little nugget of information that made many religious believers' ears pick up. There's a date, exclaimed the host of the interview, before an excitedly detailed discussion of the rapture took place. The religious concept promises believers a fast-track getaway from 7 years of chaos and doom, known as the tribulation, before Jesus returns to set up a paradise. People on social media really seem to have taken to the idea the rapture is coming, resulting in rapture talk. Yes, rapture talk, T-O-K.
Rapture talk.
With hundreds of videos of folks on TikTok giving rapture tips and wondering if their dogs are allowed to come with them if they get bundled off earth to heaven by Jesus. One incredibly entertaining video on TikTok is captioned, "Will our pets be raptured?" Helpfully, devout Christian influencer Sarah provides some analysis of a passage from the Bible. Let's see what she has to say. While there's nothing in the Bible that explicitly says what happens to your pets in the rapture, I believe they come with us, she said in the video, nodding solemnly. I have prayed for my... I hate this phrase. I'm going to read it because it's what it's in the article. But I hate this phrase. I have prayed for my fur babies to be raptured with me. That is my new least favorite sentence in the English lexicon. That is disgusting. I'm sorry I read it to you, but I'm just reporting the news. This is what it says. My apologies. Someone begged beneath in the comments section. Here's some 7-step guide for heavenly hounds. Yeah, this is why I chose this article. Thou shalt not bark on a Sunday. Oh my goodness. Thou shalt treat the postman like a fellow. I'm not even going to read that. I'm sorry. I just wanted to bring this up. Yes, I just wanted to bring this up because we're talking about something pretty serious, and the Daily Star is making it into a "Will my dog go to heaven?" situation, which I understand. I do understand. We love our pets, but to turn it into some kind of silly listicle, like it's from BuzzFeed, silly to me. So I'm going to jump real quick to this other one, IFL Science. They fixed their headline. How is the world going to end tomorrow, according to conspiracy theorists? In the latest of many, many predictions of the end of the world, the Earth is set to end on Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025, according to a conspiracy theory going wild on TikTok and X. Every now and then, someone, sometimes, but not always, Isaac Newton, it says, suggests that the world is about to end in some horrifying new way. Without exception, and in parentheses, it says, see, you aren't dead. They have all turned out to be nonsense, sometimes to the embarrassment of the prophet who suggested it. If you're older than 13, you have lived through being dinosaured by imaginary planet Nibiru several times in the great Mesoamerican apocalypse of 2012. How could you forget? Do you remember where you were when the Mayan calendar was about to take us out in 2012?
Oh, yeah.
It's a big deal.
That was the original 2012 AD prophecy, right? Okay.
We had Y2K before that, which wasn't an end times.
It's crazy because this stuff went from super serious to not happening at all to I completely forgot about it for 15 years. And now I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that was totally a thing. We were all doomed to die and it didn't happen.
Yeah, there was one, I think in 2013, 2014 as well. It obviously didn't happen. This year, despite no apocalypse predictions ever panning out, we are back to a good, semi-old-fashioned rapture scenario. For the uninitiated, there is a belief among a small number of largely evangelical Christians that at some point in the future, all living and dead believers will rise into the air to meet God, while the non-believers are left behind. Known as the rapture, according to some believers, this is the beginning of tribulations on earth, a time of suffering and chaos for those who didn't believe and subsequently were not ascended to heaven. These views are surprisingly common in evangelical circles, with one survey finding that around 61% of evangelical leaders globally believing in the rapture. The number is set to increase on Tuesday when, according to Pastor Joshua Mehakela, and vast swaths of the conspiracy-minded internet believe the rapture is going to take place. I like how they have to conflate the conspiracy theories with a pastor. You can always see the biases leak through the page of these writers. Because I do take Revelation and the end times seriously. And it's always so silly to me to watch these modern journalists condense it into something silly, like a listicle about your dog not barking at the postman should he want to make it to heaven alongside you. As you'd expect from someone making such claims, very little was provided in the way of evidence. Instead, the information, which has reportedly led to people selling off their earthly possessions, such as cars, came to the pastor in a dream. Now, dreams are important in the Bible, and there are many, many instances of a dream being of the voice of God in people. So, when they kind of condescend to that idea, there is obvious biblical references to the importance of dreams and the communication between us and God. The rapture is here upon us, whether you are ready or not ready, the pastor said on a TV channel on YouTube. I saw Jesus sitting on his throne, and I could hear him very loud and clear saying, I am coming soon. He said to me, on the 23rd and 24th of September 2025, I will come back to the earth. And we got some tweets from people. I'm not even going to read them. Elsewhere in the interview, the pastor claims that God gave him a vision of powerful beings chasing those who had been left behind through the streets and eating people, which isn't the most solid evidence we've ever seen if we're being honest, says the writer. So is it going to happen? No, they say definitively. Look, I personally don't think it's going to happen, but who knows? So these things, we are not in control. 100% of world-ending predictions have been incorrect, and tomorrow's will be no exception. Feel free to drop us an email on Wednesday if we're wrong, they say in the article. You condescending little journalist at IFL Science. The idea is religious and has no basis in fact or physical phenomena, with absolutely nothing, bar an unprompted nuclear war or unseen asteroid set to end the world tomorrow. And you see, the condescension is just palpable, because if we, those of us out there who are Christian, we believe things that are miraculous. So don't condescend to me in your articles. That said, I also don't really think this pastor is correct. But again, who are we to know? I'm not going to read the rest of this. Who wrote this ridiculous story? Laura Simmons. And James. It took a lot of people to write this condescending article. But for those who don't know, this has happened for quite some time in human history. The one I thought of immediately was the Millerites. They were known for their predictions of the end times. And I'm just going to read a little bit about them. The Millerites were the followers of the teachings of William Miller, who in 1831 first shared publicly his belief that the second advent of Jesus Christ would occur in roughly the year 1843 or 1844. Coming during the Second Great Awakening, his teachings were spread widely and grew in popularity, which led to the event known as the Great Disappointment. Miller was a prosperous farmer, a Baptist lay preacher, and student of the Bible living in northeastern New York. He spent years of intensive study of symbolic meaning of the prophecies of Daniel, especially Daniel 8:14. Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed, the 2,300-day prophecy. Miller believed that the cleansing of the sanctuary represented the earth's destruction by fire, Christ's second coming. Using the year-day method of prophetic interpretation, Miller became convinced that the 2,300-day period started in 457 BC with a decree to rebuild Jerusalem by Artaxerxes. Guys, you know I can't read names, of Persia. My mom obviously had lots of Tylenol.
Put his glasses on. He can't see without his glasses.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the glasses that'll make me read better. It's all the public school I went to that melted my brain. If only I were smarter. Simple calculation then indicated that this period would end about 1843. And you guys can go look this up, but it didn't happen. It was a huge movement, and they call it the Great Disappointment. They were not taken. And this might also make you think of things like Heaven's Gate. I don't know if they're actually a Christian sect, but they were a cult that believed that they would hop on, what was it, the Hale-Bopp comet, I believe, and it would be like a vessel to take them to their own next level. They would ascend. And then I was thinking about all these other past predictions, and there's a lot, but they go back quite some time, as early as we know, to 66 BC, when this Jewish Essene sect of ascetics saw the Jewish uprising against the Romans in 66 through 70 in Judea as the final end-time battle, which would bring about the arrival of the Messiah. By the authority of Simon, coins were minted declaring the redemption of Israel. Well, that one didn't happen. But you can go through 365, 375, 500. One on my birthday, April 6th. This Spanish monk prophesied of the second coming of Christ and the end of the world on that day in front of a large crowd of people. Now, there's been ones in recent history where people, like the article did mention, which has happened, where people do really believe the rapture is coming, and they do sell off all their worldly possessions. I don't know to what degree that's happening today, but you can go through this. It's pretty fascinating Wikipedia page. It is Wikipedia, but it's got it all collected right there. And you can look up even future predictions. Let's see what the future predictions are. See how much I have to scroll down here to get to them? The next one, tomorrow is not on this list, but the next one on this list, oh my goodness. Let's bring me to Isaac Newton. The Messiah Foundation International for 2026 says, in accordance with the predictions of Riz Ahmed Gaur Shahi's book, The Religion of God, the spiritual organization believes that the world will end when an asteroid collides with Earth in 2026. Now, where does that leave us with the hostile probe? Do we know how close that is getting? I wonder if cults like this will pick up their apocalyptic end times vocabulary and their end times blessings the closer that thing gets to us. And if you're just now tuning in for the first time, our most recent article, I believe, about the hostile probe atlas is that it's not alone. It will actually, they theorize, have multiple mini probes that'll detach
and come to Earth. We have 2060. This is from Isaac Newton. In an unpublished manuscript, Newton made a reference to the year 2060, which in 2004 was falsely reported by mainstream media as a date for the end of the world. Newton was actually predicting a date before which the world would definitely not end in order to calm people's fears about the apocalypse. So, you guys, a lot of predictions. I don't know. I'm not feeling it tomorrow, but like I said, I'm not in control.
So the 2060 thing, is that like he's saying we have until 20? Is that like a expiration?
Like yeah, it felt like that's what. If I'm reading it correctly, he feels like we're safe until then.
Best used on or before this date.
Yeah, we expire around then.
Yeah, that's our sell by date, guys. You heard it here, 2060.
All right, let's see. We got some chats in here. Thank you guys from MF Damien. Appreciate that. I hope people do float away tomorrow. I'm ready to go full Kevin Garvey for my B-Day week. I just hope the dog spaz. Just hearing that name makes me emotional because that's exactly what I was thinking about when I read that article and when I read about the Millerites, The Leftovers, my favorite show in television history, more than Twin Peaks, more than Mad Men. The Leftovers is the greatest show of all time.
Do we have this is probably a stupid question, but do we have like a time frame tomorrow as to when
Anytime.
to expect this rapturing to happen?
Might be right at the end of the show.
I don't want to like sleep late and then wake up dead. You know.
Well, you wouldn't be dead. Well, we're gonna have to get you.
Well, I would
confess to Christ.
If all of that were true and I didn't believe, then according to the rules of things, I would wake up in hell.
You'd be here getting chased by monsters.
So
And
I would just stay behind and be tormented in some alternate dimension of this existence.
Do you think you can live stream that?
If all of the equipment is still here, I mean, this board sucks, and I'm so pissed off at it right now for the beginning of this show, and I think we're gonna end up replacing this damn thing after. I'm not even playing games.
He's
dude.
gonna throw it out the window.
I'm not playing games with this thing anymore, man. This thing's a dick.
What is this? Uni-Tunic Glue? Sorry if I read that wrong. 22. Thank you for the chat. 2022 Birmingham Games opening. The Antichrist agenda is laid out, complete with mechanical ball. Well done. Well done. We do have the Antichrist talks taking off soon with friend of the show, Peter Thiel. He'll be giving his 4-part lecture on that. So I wish I could go, but it's sold out and I can't afford it. But man, I wish it would be broadcast, but it won't be. It won't be. Let's see. Anything else, you guys? Are you feeling it? I mean, it would be great. Paradise sounds great. I'm ready to be with God. This world does feel like hell sometimes, especially these last 2 weeks. Especially. But like we are, as a culture, all around obsessed with the end of the world. Do you remember one of our first shows together, Brandon, when we went with this new format? We talked about the oarfish. Remember? And
yes. Was that the doomsday fish?
Exactly.
The sign of the prophetic ending of the world.
They say, I think it was in India and in China, they believe when they see this very long fish, it's a prophecy of doom to come.
And then on top of that, they decided they were going to touch it, which I guess you're also not supposed to do because it can just expedite things or expedite things.
Don't catch it. Don't catch the oarfish.
Is that a thing? Did they expedite it at the end of the world till like now, tomorrow?
And then we had the guy here on IRL a month ago talking about the red heifer with Israel, bringing about their end time scenario, which is... I'm not cool with it. Don't agree with it. But that's what I mean by it's always the end of the world. Is I feel like we're at a certain time right now where it does feel very heavy on the doom, rightfully so, for every possible reason, because we're being attacked. It's an onslaught on everything: religion, your family, your wallet, the schools, how we even think of history. Everything's under attack. And, the past 5 years, it accelerated. We saw the world shut down. A lot of people woke up to the idea that there is a network of demons that harm children. Still trying to figure out some answers to that. And it's normal to think this is hell or this is the end of the world because we're surrounded by so much darkness. But again, I don't know. I'm just a simple little human being. I like to read my Bible. And, that's all I got.
I'm good on this rapture. I've got shit to do this week, so this is kind of inconvenient for me, as I'm sure it is for a few other people out there. So, and I'm not even trying to be an ass right now. I'm dead serious. I have things to do this week. So
You might want to do it like right after we get out of the show.
like tonight.
If it doesn't happen at midnight.
What the hell's the point of doing it if it's not everything's gonna go away magically tomorrow at some point? Then like, why did I do it?
If you're going through the tribulation, but you still have to like pay bills and go.
Yeah,
through,
I've got like
routine.
laundry and shit to
Yeah,
do, dude. Like
yeah.
like
Just burn
what?
it.
It's just
burn it.
unless the whole paranormal thing is also correct, where when you die, you actually apparate with your clothes on into a spiritual figure with like a wispy curly tail.
This is why why I was thinking about the leftovers, and thank you for that super chat about it. When COVID started happening, I was immediately thinking we are about to enter the world of the leftovers. For those who haven't read the book, it's a great book, but I love the TV show. It's very different. It's a big departure, no pun intended for those who've actually seen the movie or read the book. It's a big departure from the book. Book is great, but the show is amazing, but it's extremely upsetting. It's very sad, at times surreal, and it's about a people who are the leftovers. A rapture type event happened. I think it's 2% of the population just disappeared, and now we're watching the people who have been left over on Earth, and it's very close character studies. Some of the best characters I think ever created on television. It's extremely sad, but when COVID happened and the world shut down, you saw reality really fracture in a way I don't think we'd experienced. We know that was always going to happen, and it has happened before, but everyone had a different worldview. Everyone was thinking different things. The end times, they felt very present. And if you'd seen the leftovers, you know how that world fractured into cults, doomsday scenarios, just kind of like a general sense of mayhem, while also having to go about your daily life, like being a dad, dealing with alcoholism, being a mom who was left behind. Her whole family disappeared. And then the weird little ways that changed day-to-day life in ways you wouldn't expect, which is so good. And that is what kind of happened with COVID, right? We're still kind of seeing these little things here and there. Like when just today, I saw someone walk past me with a mask. I'm like, wow, that person's still in that cult. That's wild. That is wild to me. But yeah, I think I do have hope for tomorrow. I think we're going to be okay. I do. So the link to call in to this show is pinned in the chat on Rumble and YouTube. I would love to hear from you guys. Tell us a story about anything. It could be about the rapture. It could be about a ghost story, sleep paralysis, cryptids, you name it. We want to hear about it. We will be here until midnight, and let's do it. How about you, Brandon?
I'm ready. Let's go to Tammy first. Rapture.
Let's do it.
It's gotta be at one of those like annoying times, like 6 a.m.
Jeremy Harbin said only 2%. Yeah, it sounds like a small amount, but it's enough to really affect daily life. You think about planes falling out of the sky. Just sometimes it's a whole family disappears, other times it's not, and then everyone trying to make sense of why they went, where they went. I think it's only three seasons. So please, I'm not talking about the Nick Cage movie, Sepster one. I don't know about that. Do I? I don't. But Nick Cage rules. I'll have to look it up.
Nick Cage?
Yeah, he said he thought I was talking about a Nick Cage movie, but I'm not sure which one that is. I do love Nick Cage movies, though. I do. Is Shane bald? Getting there. By the day. There's still some left, but if my dad is any gauge, it'll be gone in like 2 years. I have 3 kids.
They say what? Look at your mother's father.
That
right?
ain't true. That's not true. Well, I mean, if it's my mother's father, I'll have some. But I think I take after my very Irish father. So I'll be bald. It'll happen. We'll see. I have a very weird misshapen skull, I think from growing up in a landfill. So it'll be very unfortunate. I'll have to get a special hat to hide it. Better than this one. My skull's just continuing to grow. Are we waiting for her to join? Is it one of those...
Yeah, it's one of those ones where like it's not... There's like a timeout that happens sometimes on some of these calls. I don't know if it's a connection thing or what, but there'll be like a cool down period of like a minute before it just like completely kicks them out entirely.
BV Luminous says, I hate the Antichrist. Word. Me too.
Word.
Joe Brezel should have called Sergeant Payton and asked him what he and the Fourth Reich know about it. True. Sergeant Payton, if you happen to be listening tonight, give us a call. We'd love to hear what the Fourth Reich is doing to prepare for the end times. I'm sure they got some plans going on.
I mean, wouldn't he have known about this?
Yeah. If
I
you
feel
knew,
like
he'd call in.
this would have been marked on his calendar, I think.
Goodness gracious. Get Ben Davidson to talk about the magnetic pole shift. Yeah, I've done a few shows with him, with Tim. I think it was 2 Culture Wars, maybe an IRL. It's fascinating stuff. I'm not entirely sold on the idea, but then again, I also think CERN might have created a black hole that threw us into a sphere of strangeness. So who am I?
All right, we're gonna jump.
do it.
We're gonna shift gears here. Let's go to the next person down, which is Tiny.
Tiny, friend of the show. Philomena says, Boo Nick Cage, our greatest living actor? My goodness.
Tiny, can you hear us?
Yeah, what's up, bro? How are you, man?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
I'm doing great after listening to Shane lay some stick to that dude's ass today.
You have to put it like that, Tiny.
Well, just saying, man, like there's something about that dude's name that doesn't stand right with me. So Augustus, if I'm not mistaken, means high winds, and his last name comes real close to, what's it, Duratio?
Mm-hmm. His last name's Dorico.
Yeah, and it's close enough in my opinion, bro. So I don't really trust the cat just simply off his name. You know what I mean? So
I know. I want to have a nice conversation, and I'd like to have a longer one. But there is something about him. I just don't trust that sphere. And like I said what I said on the show, and I believe that in my heart. But it's it's tough because I just
no doubt,
I don't
man.
agree. I don't agree with that type of dystopian like manufacturing of nature. But then like what Tim was saying, which he has a point. Where do I draw the line? I have lots of lines. I think there's a lot of things that are bad that are in modernity right now that are barbaric that we should not do. But it is tough, because I get beef from saying like I'm against the AI creating a 48-hour designer vaccine to cure you. But like, why would I trust that if I didn't trust the other ones that they made over a few months or a few years? I'm not just gonna be like, oh wow, they made it now, it's great. I'm not gonna just I'm okay with this now. I won't do it. But to his credit, he's down to have the conversation, and I hope there's another one because there's so many avenues to go down with what he's doing and the things that he doesn't agree with the solar engineering stuff, the geoengineering, which is a much bigger thing. What he's doing is localized weather manipulation. What Bill Gates and stuff like ScopeX is doing is on a grand scale. We want to block the sun, which is also diabolical.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, man. I think so I guess for me, like everything in life, there's a yin and a yang to shit. Like there's I believe that evil always comes from initial good intentions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes good intentions go too far and then they're manipulated by evil. And so it's not that I necessarily believe that he's evil.
Right.
I don't think he believes he's evil.
Yes.
Right.
I don't think he does either.
But that doesn't.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that like he's not contributing to something that could just be weaponized against us in the future, and that's what concerns me about him. The same thing with Elon.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the point I was trying to make. I'm still like sweating from running over here. But like, I'm sorry, guys. I have a sheen.
Take a scooter next time, man. They're laying like everywhere. I just get on the one wheel and cruise over. Like
I should have. I just that was the point I was trying to make. Is they try to sell it with good intentions, and I get it. I totally understand it. But there are consequences that will reach into the future, and it happens with everything. We could say about the internet, our phones, satellites, war, the things that come out of war. And that's what I was getting at in the very beginning when I just briefly said. I forget where I said it, but at some point tonight I said, it's a privatized version of a weapon because we did create weather manipulation in war times to try. Like when we first applied it, it was in Vietnam for Operation Popeye to flood out the Viet Cong, and it's depending on who you talk to, they'll say it was effective or not. I think it was effective because in 1976, we made a treaty with a bunch of countries say we can no longer weaponize weather manipulation, but you can do it on the public. Okay.
Right.
I don't.
Right.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah, I just think that, like people like that should be double scrutinized, man. And I think you did a good job tonight of at least opening the opportunity for you guys to have maybe a contentious conversation, but a civil conversation in the future. And hopefully, I really hope that he does actually step forward and do a culture war live with you guys, because I think it's important. If he really stands behind what he's saying, then he should be able to have a conversation with somebody that's maybe more of a contrarian.
And he's got good concerns. Like, our farms are under attack in many ways. They're being bought up by other countries. They're being bought up by Bill Gates. They're definitely dealing with droughts. So there's definitely a problem that needs to be looked at and addressed. And I love farmers. Farmers are very, very important. And there's very strange plans for what farming will look like in the future that I also don't agree with. So, I think that's a great way to start that conversation on a larger, like, if we do a longer format.
Right. It actually and I doubt that you'd be able to find one that would go on camera, but to have an Amish farmer sit down with him and discuss the ways that throughout history the Amish have dealt with drought.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Somehow
Theo Vaughn got one. Somehow Theo Vaughn got an Amish kid on his podcast. I think he was on Rumspringa. So we have to somehow find an Amish farmer on Rumspringa who can talk to the droughts.
What's crazy to me, guys, is thinking about how, like, you always used to, like, watch videos of, like, Amish people, like, there'll be like 100 people lifting an entire barn up with their bare hands with 2x4s and walking it down a road and dropping it off in like a town or something. And you're always just like, dude, that would suck. Like, you look at the way that they live and you just think, like, I could never do that. But like 20, 30 years later now, we're in this whole kind of almost dystopian reality with everything that's going on. Super high tech, super advanced. You can't get away from the digital noise. And now I find myself thinking, man, that life actually sounds kind of peaceful.
It does.
And I'm like, shit, do I grow a beard and buy a pair of suspenders and wander off until I find somebody and just be like, hey, man, I want to join.
I wonder how it is. Like, what's the initiation? Like, how do they trust you? You have to shave the mustache because that is, they're pacifists and they associate mustaches with war.
But you get to grow a beard.
You can have a beard. Yeah, just not a mustache.
Playoff beard.
Yeah.
Is what I call it. We're almost time for playoffs for some things.
I know some Mennonites out here in West Virginia. They're different, but similar in some ways.
Right.
And they are so impressive. I mean, the things that they can build, they're so beautiful. They're craftsmen. And I remember my wife and I got a bookshelf from them, and they delivered it. And they can drive. And they delivered it. He had like some of his sons with him. And I think the one son might have been 7 or 8. And he came with a pen that the 7 or 8-year-old, he made himself. And this pen was beautiful. Like, this is a gross plastic pen. This pen he made was just so wonderfully crafted out of wood. And I was so impressed. I'm like looking at my son like, you're 9. Dude, you better start whittling some pens for your father. My goodness.
You're right.
But no, that's a good idea.
My kids would cut their fingers off.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. The Amish are awesome. I love to. That's been my goal for a while now, somehow to interview some Amish, just because I was so, I was worried about them with the raid and the milk. I drink raw milk. My family's had raw milk for the past 10 years. I love raw milk, and it's changed our lives. I think it's great. And when they were raided by the feds for their raw milk, I'm like, man, they should not have done that because it turned back around them. And like I said in IRL, they came out in full force to vote for Trump.
Yeah. And somebody that I don't think gets enough credit, man, and I don't know if you follow him or not, but Robert Barnes actually was who represented Amos Miller in Pennsylvania and Lancaster against the feds and the state, because initially I believe it was the feds that brought charges against him.
I think so.
And they ended up settling out of court where Amos pled guilty to something and paid a fine, but they didn't take his farm. But when they settled that case, Josh Shapiro, if I'm not mistaken, I might have the timeline twisted here, but Josh Shapiro And the state of Pennsylvania picked up additional charges against Amos and tried to come after him a second time.
Evil. It's evil.
You know,
It's disgusting.
so, but that's somebody, you know, I know that he's been on Tim's show before. That might be somebody that you can connect to and get an opportunity to get that into the Amish community.
Great idea. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, and the only reason why I bring that up is because I do believe Scott Pressler did an amazing thing with rallying them as well. But I believe Robert Barnes actually probably played a much more key part to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they had to rely upon him. I mean, Amos Miller was going to lose his farm. Either the feds or the state were going to take. And I think it had been in his family for like 7 generations, man.
Insane. That's so insane. I hate it.
Yeah.
It makes me sick.
So, no doubt, bro. So not to switch it up, man, but the one thing that I felt I felt compelled to call and talk about, man, is the whole situation with Charlie. And I don't want to go into gruesome detail and stuff like that, but anybody that has ever hunted, anybody that's ever shot a weapon in their life knows the type of damage that a 30-06 round will do, and especially within the range of 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, again, and I've said this before, man, we are in an age of propaganda warfare. We're in an age of deception and misdirection. And I think that people sometimes are in such a rush to be able to come to a conclusion that they don't allow the opportunity for the actual evidence to develop.
Yep.
And I really hope that Cash and Dan Bongino have checked themselves on this and are maybe what they're doing is the right thing by releasing the information as it comes before them.
Right.
But the problem is it's leading to a lot of these speculations about where it came from and all this. Well, guess what, man? Until you actually figure out what caused this man's death, you're not going to be able. All you're doing is speculating on things that your personal biases.
Yep. And there's people putting out stuff that they know will confirm those biases, which is
Correct.
Everyone needs to be very aware of that. You know, I have mine. We all have them, and I want answers. I pray we get them. I don't know if we're going to get them, but that's the thing is, I've seen a lot of experts who say they know about hunting and they're military, and they say that this story adds up. And then I see other people who are experts and they say the exact opposite. I have a lot of friends who are hunters. They've been hunting for 40 years. They're showing me photos, you know, of things they've hunted with the 30-06. And it's like, I don't understand, you know, how that didn't happen with this situation. And I hate to even, you know, think about it and question it, but we know how history goes, you know?
We have a shit ton of people out there also, maybe people that aren't invested in this on either side of it that are just looking for clicks and, you know, just looking to stir the pot up. So you've got an overwhelming number of people that are out there just throwing shit up.
Easily
like,
disprovable.
Look at this part of Charlie's shirt move, you know, over here on the right sleeve. Conspiracy. We need to look into this. Here's all the people. And it's like, you know, or the hand signals thing, like all that stuff there. Just everybody was jumping at the first possible conspiracy that they could find and just trying to own it for the sake of owning it, I feel like.
It's like Butler on steroids. I mean, Butler was bad because we still don't have answers. And look how long it's been since that. But I mean, I think a lot of that stuff that's put out there that's easily disprovable is put out on purpose to make anyone else asking questions look foolish. And that's a problem, you know, because there's things out there you're like, come on, dude. Like that. I mean, look, I'm all for anyone asking all questions. It sucks that we're like pretty close to, you know, how we knew Charlie and everything. And it doesn't feel right to even have to question. But here we are. The timeline's weird. The narrative doesn't make a lot of sense. I think it's appropriate to ask questions, and you shouldn't be demonized for that. But clearly, there's a lot of bad stuff being put out there that you can just debunk fairly easy.
Agreed. And the only thing that I would add to that to just, you know, kind of wrap that up, bro, is that you know, you're doing a disservice to that man if we don't find the truth behind what happened.
Right.
It's a disservice to this nation because we cannot move forward as a people if we don't know what's truly taking place around us. And I understand there's times where we may not come to a full 100% agreeable conclusion on things. You know, there's always going to be people that are going to have their opinions on matters, but we can't continue on by, and man, this goes deep into how I feel like, you know, this technology in our pocket has made us dumber as a society, just as a people, because instead of relying upon our own natural instincts to say like, oh shit, that dude's not telling me the truth. Like
Yep.
we don't rely on that anymore. We lean on whatever information this little box shows us.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And
it's a reality buffet. Anything you want, you
it
can
is.
get.
Right. And that's what I was gonna say, man. You can always find the echo chamber that you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Yep.
you know, allegedly this dude was into other people that thought dressing up like furry stuffed animals was cool. And I mean, I've never in my life met somebody that I thought was cool that walked around with a foxtail hanging out of their ass.
Me too. Yeah.
You know, I guess I didn't search the corners of the internet to even know,
Yep.
bro.
Yep.
But
Anything's out there. Anything's out there.
yeah, man. And then the last thing, man, and I'll jump off so you guys can move on to somebody else, man, is that I had a personal experience at the fair here in Frederick, and I stopped by the tent for the DNC and tried to strike up a conversation with the gentleman, and he didn't necessarily want to have conversation. And so in parting, I said, you know, hey man, just God bless Charlie Kirk, right? And this man looked me dead ass in the eyes and said, if you think so.
Oh.
And it dawned upon me at that point in time that this man is a representative of the Democratic Party of Frederick County, Maryland, in the state of Maryland as well. They're flying these communist flags, these Black Lives Matters, this Pride Progress flags and stuff like that. And we're in a bad spot, man. And we need to figure out how to continue Charlie's message. But it's also extremely important that people understand that they need to protect themselves, because this isn't bullshit we're playing with. So
we are.
That's all, man.
Yep. No, you're right, dude. It's very heightened times, and people are very
Absolutely.
open. They're very open about how much they hate you. It's really something else. You know, it's like 2020, because we saw it go down, but there seems like something that's just a little unhinged. Maybe because it's been some time and it's been festering in these people, and they couldn't wait to celebrate violence again, like they did after Butler. Even though some of them were upset, you know, because insane. But it's eye-opening, but also unsurprising.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think the escalation, if you've been paying attention, you know, I mean, quite honestly, to promote Tim, man, if you've been paying attention to Tim, you know, the picture has been painted for a long time, and now it's just finally coming into perfect. It's like the Etch-a-Sketch, man, where like, you know, you start seeing the picture start to develop, and now it's starting to come in full enough focus where the normies are paying attention.
Yep. They can't avoid it now. The war is on every possible front, and if you ignore it, then I mean you're blind. Yep,
no doubt, man. So just real last thing, and October 11th, right, Brando?
For
Boonies.
the next event, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So Boonies HQ, man. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube. They're doing some kick-ass stuff, man. Having kids come in there and have a good time with pro skaters and introducing young men into physical activity again, which is one thing that I believe will help cure some of the ills of this nation, is getting kids out and actually being active again in life. So check it out, man. Subscribe and make sure you pay attention. It's a live event. It's a good shit, man.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah, guys. Have a good night, fellas.
You too. All right, let's get to another caller. In the meantime, Robert, Shane, the chat needs to know, is the moon Jewish? I know the moon is Jewish because every time I say it's fake, people get emotional. Interesting how that works. There is something there. I just don't know what it is.
The moon's never asked me for money, though.
I think it has. It's tried to send me some Venmos before.
Except for when Heineken tried to like monetize it that one time. That was crazy. I can't even believe that was a thing, but that was a real thing. Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Heineken tried to advertise on the moon.
Real Chris B says, I'm not ready for the rapture. Well, there's no planning for that one. You can doom prep all you want.
I was going to say, like, does it really matter if you're ready or not?
Right.
I mean, with that sort of an event, does it really matter if you're ready? I mean, either way you're going, and so is everyone else.
Taking anything with you.
Like, what the hell are you waiting? You know?
Maybe the people are selling their stuff just because they need an excuse. And they're like, well, the Rapture's tomorrow. We'll sell the car, honey.
I got to go through all my iCloud photos. Like, no, man, you're dying.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm going to try. I'm going to see if Tammy got her connection together here. Tammy, if you can hear us, unmute your mic, please.
Tammy, we're here. Man, I listened to Alice in Chains so much this weekend. That might be my favorite band from the 90s.
Dude, they were definitely up there. There's so many, though, from like that era. Like, it's ridiculous, but they were definitely up there.
So good.
Yeah,
So
Lane
good.
Staley was just something else. That
The
guy.
Unplugged is great. It's so great, but when you go back and you listen, like, they were heavy. I love Pantera. You know, there's so many bands from the 90s I love a lot. But the harmonies those guys were making.
Yep.
Can we just listen to Alice in Chains for the next hour?
Not without getting demonetized.
I can't even listen to that dang song and mean
Hello?
more. Hello.
Hi, Tammy.
Hey,
Hey, welcome to the show.
can you? Hey, how are you guys?
We're good. How are you doing today?
Good. I just saw Shane on Timcast. I was loving it. I thought he is going to totally annihilate the cloud dude.
What did you do to this guy that I'm like, I obviously I caught like 2 seconds of it, and like Tim was asking you like where things lie or trying to find something, and I didn't have time to watch the rest of it.
I didn't want to hijack Tim's show. I had a lot of things to say to him. Obviously, I've tried getting him on this show. They ghosted us.
Well, one good thing about Shane, he keeps these cookies. I mean, he doesn't lose his cool, and I think it's great.
Thank you.
Because I'm
Thank
like,
you.
I see all these guys blowing up. Tim blows up. Ian's not so bad. Phil, he's way off the chart with blowing up. But Shane can always keep his cool, and I thought he is going to totally annihilate this cloud dude.
Well, I hope it was okay. I was trying to be
It was
respectful, but you know, I feel very deeply.
So
about
wait,
that.
this was a cloud guy, as I've heard him referred to.
He's the Rainmaker CEO, the guy we've had on here with the mullet.
That was the dude that was on IRL.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
I had no
Joe
idea
Dirt.
he was going to be on today, and then someone hit me up
I didn't
later
know
on,
either. That's crazy.
And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I would have slid into that green room episode probably if they even did one. I don't know if they did one.
And, you know, I want to be respectful. First of all, always want to be respectful and have a nice dialogue, but I'm going to say what I say. And the show, IRL is not like built around, it's like a culture war episode. So it's like, you know, it's Tim's show. I'm not going to say anything, but Tim and I guess me,
Right.
because of Bill Gates, found a way into cloud seeding. And I got a few minutes in the end, and it was great. You know, I'm
Yeah, it was really good.
Fascinated
My
with
son
him.
and I watch Timcast IRL every night. We watch Tales of the Inverted World, Pop Culture Wars, everything.
Thank you.
We watch all of them.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Oh,
it.
you guys are great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've learned to keep my
Really,
cool
really good
because
and
I have three little kids. So my my like emotions have been tempered.
See, I think on the exact opposite of I'm able to keep my cool because I have no kids.
No, like I had to learn because you don't want obviously there's times where you're getting mad at your kids and you might raise your voice and stuff, but I don't want to instill in them just constant
Well,
anger.
It
You know,
teaches you
but
control.
trust me, they've been
Yeah, Shane's
talked
probably
to.
a little older, aren't you? You're older, a little bit older.
I'm 40, yeah, and all, my kids are all 9 and younger.
There you go. I'm 64, so I got you all beat.
A little bit, just a little bit.
You got a head
Just a
start
little
on
bit.
me for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much
Yeah.
for the support. We really appreciate that.
You're welcome. I've had so many experiences. I don't even know where to start. I've had UFO experiences, ghost experiences, dreams coming true. It's crazy. I don't even know where to start.
Well,
What story would you like to hear?
whatever one comes to you the most. Which one do you think about often? Let's hear that one.
I think about I guess it's the UFO that I saw because
Sweet.
you know, I've had experiences with spirits and ghosts and stuff before. My husband and I lived down in a log cabin, and it was built actually on top of an old ground where a schoolhouse was back in the 1800s. And they said that the story that went around was there was a boy that was beat to death and murdered in the schoolhouse.
Eesh.
Well, my husband and I swore that this kid was haunting our house because I was never afraid. He wasn't either, and it never like did any harm or anything, but it would do stupid stuff like messing with us. Like my husband was he was cutting some cedar boards to put around a frame on the outside of a door to our house. Okay. And do you know what a circular saw is? Them suckers are huge and they're heavy.
Yep.
And he had it right inside the basement door, and he was come out and measured, went back in. He wasn't outside. I'm telling you, maybe 10 seconds, if that, just to hold that board up. And then he took it back in, and he always would measure twice and cut once. So he went back in, and when he did, that saw was turned completely around backwards.
Oh boy.
And he says, come here a minute. And I walked in, and I'm like, oh my God. And then we told the story to his nephew, and then he came back the following day. It was to help to fix a washing machine, and they were working on it, and there was a screwdriver and a hammer sitting on the steps. Well, when we told Nathan, he was like, "Oh, you guys are full of it. There's no way somebody could have turned that saw around, and you didn't see him, or nobody was here." And we're like, "Okay." So they were working on the washer, and when Nathan turned around to pick up the screwdriver, it was light, and he no sooner sat it down, he turned around, he turned back around to get it, and it was laying over on the dryer.
What? That's
yeah,
wild.
And I mean, I didn't see anything. We were all in the basement. It was me, him, and Brad. We were all three in the basement. And neither one of us saw anything, but it totally freaked Nathan out, and he wouldn't even never come back. He was like, I'm not coming back here anymore.
Oh, wow.
But my husband would work. He worked the railroad, and when he'd be away through the week, and he'd come home on the weekends, and it was weird because sometimes he wouldn't get in till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And he would bring his stuff in, take a shower, and go to bed. And it'd be like, I don't know, 4-5 o'clock in the morning. It was still dark, still, And we could hear this radio in the basement sometimes. Now, I didn't hear it when he wasn't there, but when he came home, we could hear it. And it was playing old time, and I mean old music, like Hank Sr. music. Down in the basement. And then my husband would get up. He shouted down the steps one time, "Knock it off, we're trying to sleep." Shut the door, and then it quit.
Listen,
I mean, we just had some weird experience. My son and I were sitting on the sofa one night, and my dog had a little rubber ball, and it was sitting against the wall, and him and I were sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden this ball started to move by itself, came out, did some circles, and went back against the wall.
That's crazy.
We just looked at each other.
Do you attribute this to that boy you told us about in the beginning?
I'm thinking it might have been, I mean, my husband and I was always like, it's got to be that kid. Who else would it be? It's like somebody trying to mess with you, not wanting to hurt you or anything, but like playing tricks on you.
Right.
Something like that. That's kind of what I attributed it to.
I've heard so many stories from people that have that experience. Very similar with the radio, the music. It reminded me of someone I talked to in Georgia. They were renting a house, and it was filled with all of the contents of like the owner's son that died in war. I think it was like a World War II or something. Maybe it was Vietnam, I'm sorry. But they would say the radio would always come on to a specific station. And the radio was locked away in another room. And they'd have to like go in there and keep turning it off. And that every time they drove towards their house that they were renting, they'd experience this crazy ringing in their ears. And then eventually it got so bad, they left. But they'd have to drive by the house every now and then to get to a friend's house or family member's house. And one time, according to this lady, she said the ringing got so bad as she drove by, it actually drove her off the road. Like she couldn't see or hear. And
wow.
I mean, I don't know what that is. They thought it was the ghost of the guy and maybe attached to his belongings that came back from war. But there's so many stories like that. It's disconcerting.
Yeah, my husband was, like I said, he had worked the railroad, and he had gone they were up in Pennsylvania, and they stopped it was around Gettysburg. Mm-hmm. And of course, I'm sure you've heard all kinds of stories about Gettysburg.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, trust me, there's stuff going on up there. But he went in this motorcycle shop, and they had all these motorcycles like ribboned off, where you couldn't like go across the ribbons to get on them, touch them, or anything. So he had his camera and was taking pictures. Well, it wasn't on the telephone; it was like a regular camera that we had to go have the film developed, 35 millimeter. So he got the pictures developed, and when he did, there was one that it was a picture of the bike, and there was a foot down on the peg, and it looked like a uniform pants leg. Like the foot was actually bare. There was no shoes on it, had bruises on it, and up the leg was like I don't know, like a uniform, like Confederate uniform.
Okay.
And it only manifested up to about the hip. But you could see that foot and that leg on that bike on that picture. Like somebody was like it was starting to manifest and didn't finish or something.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't, there was nobody there that he said that they would not let you across into those bikes. You couldn't touch them or anything, but it showed up on film.
Amazing. Yeah, I love that stuff. I don't know what to say it is, but there's something going on in the world that we just can't explain. I grew up next to a military base in West Point, New York. I was from Highland Falls, and that's an old place, and it's where Benedict Arnold, the turncoat, sold West Point to the British, basically ran it into the ground. And there's just so many crazy war stories, weird deaths. Edgar Allan Poe was there as a cadet for like 2 years, so he got kicked out for being an alcoholic mess. Go figure. And we would experience weird stuff all the time. There's something about like war, obviously, and the violence that it breeds, and like Gettysburg, any battlefields, in West Virginia, we're surrounded by battlefields, and there's just an energy to it. Maybe it's us projecting that energy to it, but there's some things you just can't like make sense of.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for calling in and for all
you're
the support.
Welcome.
We really appreciate it.
Sure. Thank you for talking with me. You guys have a good night.
You too.
You too. Thank you to Papa Bear Odin for that good job super chat. And there were two other things I wanted to address really quick. Let's see here. Delicious Nuggets. What'd you say here? The hosts of these shows like Tim all say they don't smoke weed, but they do. Alex Jones smokes weed every day. I don't know about Alex. I'm pretty sure Tim doesn't smoke. I definitely don't. I can't. Trust me, I did. I spent a lot of time in my youth doing that. Not anymore. I hardly drink. I do every now and then. But I am too psychotic. And then I wanted this other one real quick. From Bridget. You said, I watched The Leftovers after our daughter passed away on December 29th, 2022. I'm so sorry for that. That I saw that and it just it broke my heart. But you said it was somehow cathartic for me. And that's how I felt about that show. It was cathartic. I didn't have a loss like that. That is a profound, profound loss. My grandfather, who was my hero, died right before that show came out. His funeral was on my 30th birthday. 2 weeks before he died, my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, her grandfather passed away, and we lived with him. So two very important guys he had like bone cancer, and we lived in Brooklyn with him. Wild old Italian man. So losing those guys, these two pillars in our families, back to back, and then just not to go too crazy down this tangent, but 2 weeks before her grandfather died, her cousin almost died in Rochester. So we had to drive to Rochester with her grandfather to say what we thought was going to be goodbye to her cousin. Insane story. And she made it. And then to come back to New York, death, and then go experience this death in Florida with my grandfather. And then sometime after that, The Leftovers came out, which is all about grief. My wife, she was like, this is not for me. Too much grief. It was like, for her, not for her. For me, I was like, I'm going to lean into this and I'm going to watch this show. For me, it was somehow, like you're saying, Bridget, it was cathartic. Look, that show is not for everybody. People did not like that show. But I thought it was a really, really good show. And for people who deal with grief, it has even though it's an absurd world with, wild things that happen, it makes a lot of sense of the way your mind works when you're in grief. We all have different ways of dealing with it, but yeah, that's it. Let's get to another caller.
Yeah, really quick. Thanks to everybody that's joining us on Rumble and everybody that's been hanging out on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share the show. Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. Thanks to all of our callers so far. We got a few people that are left over here from Thursday that we didn't get in, so right now I'm working to get those guys in.
Is leftover the word of the night?
Yeah, sure. Why not? We haven't picked one, so yeah, why not? Leftover is on there. Really quick, while we got a second, here is your daily dose of real or fake. Let me know what you think.
Huh?
The video says it all.
Come on, bro.
I'll give it to you guys one more time, just in case you missed it.
Where'd you get
I'll give it
this?
to you guys one more time. Man, you know.
Is this from the UFO hearing? Did this just come out?
This was just floating around on X. I saw this
No pun
today,
intended.
and yeah, I thought it would be good to ask to poll the IWL community and find out if you guys think this is real or imagined.
What do you think?
I don't know, man. The evidence is there. You know, word on the street is we never heard from that plane again.
This is
So-
the new Malaysian airplane.
Yeah, it's a Delta. It's
It's,
just it's gone. You know.
Oh man.
And from nothing more than a smoke ring blown by some gangbanger smoking a Newport on the south side of Chicago.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it was on his way into Midway and just
Crash Override said Ian blew a smoke ring. That would happen for an Ian smoke ring to devour a plane.
he's stealing objects out of the air with smoke rings
Yep.
and putting them in his own little universe that he's got
That
sitting to
adds
the
up.
side.
That adds up.
That's a Savathun thing from
Yep.
Destiny for sure. he's capturing and stealing things.
Yeah, Crash Override also said even the plane is CGI. That's where my head's at.
Yeah.
That's where my head's at.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely not buying into that one, ladies and gentlemen. I just
Scum
wanted to take you
KD.
for a ride there real quick.
Scum KD said the mullet man made that cloud. He does make a distinction on his website that they don't make clouds. However, there are other people who make clouds. That's why I'm saying he's not all about the fake clouds. There's many things in the fake clouds.
What, they don't make clouds, they just fuck with the existing clouds?
Yeah. They inject silver iodide into clouds to make it rain more. You know,
Inject.
They use drones or they use planes, depending. Yeah. I know.
They use drones.
Bro, I know. That's what I was thinking. I was like, those are his drones.
They're up there.
Those are his drones.
Would that not be a reason for them to be flying at cloud level?
I thought that.
Dude.
I thought that. Maybe that's what that twinkle was in Tim's eye.
Me and Shane are working on an exclusive story over here. All right, we're trying to find a way to prove that these aren't just regular farm drones that we saw
Right.
2 nights in a row now, because
Yeah.
we went back out there on Thursday and we saw them again, and they
All
were in the
back.
same exact places again, doing the same weird shit.
High
and
altitude.
super high altitude.
Crazy. Like
And it
crazy.
just can't figure out why. So the next step is to start trying to spy on them somehow and see what the hell they're doing, and then we'll go from there.
Yep.
So let's go back to the phones. I want to bring on, I think next up we had Matt.
Right. Someone said, "Is this a comedy show or is this channel serious or both?" It's whatever it is. Sometimes it goes back and forth.
Yeah, we have serious shows. We have not so serious shows. You know,
Yep.
it's one of those things. We're a rubber band.
Yep.
Matt, what's up? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys,
What's up?
was not expecting to get called. So
All right.
this is
Well,
great.
welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot.
What's on your mind?
So not to stay in the dark cloud that's been hovering over for a while, but something about the whole memorial that happened today just seemed very inauthentic.
How
in my
so?
opinion. I just think it's like very produced and it's become very cultish.
I will say, real quick, like it was hard to watch because that's just not what I would do, you know, is the sparklers and stuff. But I will say that is exactly what they do. But I had that initial feeling like, oh man, you know, it's a big production. I was very happy for all the people there, but that was my initial response, is like, oh, sparklers and stuff. Not what I would do, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah, strange. I mean, I just can't help but think a lot of things are taken over by nefarious forces and PSYOP, and
Right.
I mean, love the show, love you guys, but even you guys mentioned that there's like over 60,000 influencers and podcasts that are basically like psyop podcasts.
Well, let me be specific. I do think some of them are influencers and podcasters, but that signature reduction army that I mentioned from the Pentagon, that you can go back and look at the Newsweek article from 2021. That's just a part of it. I also think a lot of those people are just living quote unquote normal lives, like embedding themselves. Like if you're familiar with like an Operation Gladio situation, it's like people like that. So for sure, I mean, you can go on Twitter. I mean, I have people I think are paid by the government to say things.
Absolutely.
And they've been activated these past 2 weeks. But I don't know who, but I have a lot of feelings about who they might be. But certainly that 60,000 deep army does have people in the media world, corporate media, independent media, because we know about Operation Mockingbird. So it's like that, but in my opinion, like on drugs, because they're living like an identity.
Yep. And it's terrifying.
It is.
Because we're in the age of AI and also just mass propaganda.
Yep. That's why we can't look up to anybody. Like, I don't know if you're a religious person or not. Like, I have God. I look up to God, but you can't look up to anybody. Like, none of us, I think I've done my job right. Right. I've done my job right. If you question me, like, you can't always just be like, that person is always going to be what I want to hear. They're always right. Because people have their own biases. People are wrong. Yep. And other people are paid to say things. Clearly.
No, I think it's important to have somebody who questions you at every possible turn.
Yes.
Yep.
That's very serious.
I got
keeps
Brandon
you in check. That's why. That's one of the reasons why me and Shane thought this was going to be such a good pairing, is because I'm like almost opposite spectrum of
like
Shane.
The skeptic.
So
and,
like
it's important.
We put that together, and it just it feels good when we're at the end of the night. We don't hate each other. Like we go outside and we talk about it. And
we fight drones.
Like,
we fight drones together.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But even in the Bible, it says to like press your pastor pretty much and your church, and question all that, and hold the fire to them.
Yep, and like you gotta have, if you are religious, you got to know your theology. Because you could be in a place that's giving you bad theology. That's not a good thing. That's actually a terrible thing. But like, to bring it back to the tribute yesterday, those are two things I was thinking. Is I hope. It seems like a lot of people are actually turning to religion. Amazing. My other thought was, I hope they're turning to good theology.
Exactly.
Now, we could all debate on what's the best in this. My Catholic friends don't agree with me.
Yeah.
But that's very important. Because we've seen denominations get totally twisted.
Yeah. Well, most people didn't even have a Bible, couldn't even read or anything until like the Schofield Bible came out and was passed out in majillions of copies all around the world.
Exactly. And that's got its own misinterpretation.
Yeah.
And people got to know this. It's very important. You can't just believe in God. I think you really need to know your theology. And that's something this is all still fairly new to me. I've only been a Christian for 3-4 years, but I'm a baby and I'm learning, and I just want to do it right. I'm talking to a lot of people, reading a lot of books, listening to different people, and just trying to do my best. And just watching out for the people.
As much as you can, as many things as you can, just like you would when you're doing journalism, Get sources from all over and discern.
Journalism. What is that?
Yep. What is what?
What is journalism?
Yeah, right. It's a propaganda now.
I was going to say, it's kind of
journalism school, right?
Yeah, I've heard of this journalism.
Definition's definitely been watered down, for sure.
People call me a journalist. I'm like, that's hate speech. Please don't say that.
Crazy.
No, it can be great. I love journalism, but my goodness.
It used to be so revered, and now it's like, what the hell?
It's a skin suit.
It's a crazy disgusting question. What the hell even is it anymore?
Yeah, it's Don Lemon. There are good journalists out there.
Even like things like, wasn't it The Jungle?
Yeah, Upton Sinclair.
But wasn't that also like outed as some kind of propaganda?
Yep.
Yeah, so
exactly.
It's been going on forever.
Exactly.
Everybody's got investors that want to control the narrative. Everybody's working with somebody on Capitol Hill, like it's really just all about not pissing off the people with the money.
Yep.
At the end of the day, which sucks because that's what
they're putting on a show. The world is a giant stage, and everybody's putting on a show.
100%.
They're all actors.
It's so much theater.
Politicians should not be leading us. They're the biggest scumbags ever.
Yeah,
Will do anything.
It's very discouraging, but that is the case, and it does. To me, I agree. It's a lot of theater, but it's like theater with very real consequences.
Yes,
and real violence.
Our lives.
Right, it's literally our lives, and it's a lot of theater, and it's discouraging because I wish there was a way to change that, but it's such a big engine. It's going to take a lot of people to really speak up, and I do feel like we are divided, and for good reasons. There's a whole faction of people that hate people who think the way we think, but at some point we're going to have some sort of unity to be like, they are keeping us apart right now. I don't know how we get back to that point because we're living in different dimensions, but they like taking us apart and pulling us apart and fighting each other.
It's fractured into so many different paradigms, and you can't just shake people awake either. It's just like also when you have the come to Jesus or the religious moment or whatever. I for years I went through the whole atheist thing, and then I became agnostic, and then I was like, oh damn, I think that this has something to it.
Well,
totally agree.
Think about this. Do you think that try to imagine everyone agreeing with each other and being under the same banner,
right,
under the same flag, just in this country alone? What about that is something that some of these people in office would want?
Yeah, well, they want the one world government, one world religion, so
you can't have everybody agreeing with each other and being on the same page about things and get all of the outcomes that your party wants. If everyone's focused on being one thing, no one wants to be anything else. So it's in the best interest of this. I call it a two-party system because there really isn't a third party. It's never really been a factor, in my opinion. No. It's important to them that really keeps a split, like a great divide, a chasm, if you will. The further apart that you can make those things, the better off it is. Come midterms. So keep that in mind. That's the last thing they want, is for all of us to be on the same page with each other, all of us to be united as one, because you can't take that down.
They rule.
Fight each other instead of fighting the people who are pulling the strings.
Right.
Keep us distracted. It's all sleight of hand.
And what better way than to keep us at each other's throats,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. When you say sleight of hand, I got to say, the CIA literally has a handbook from the 60s, I think it was the 60s, that's about how to do illusions. They worked with illusionists to pull these things over, the wool over our eyes, to create these false realities, to drive us crazy and to hate each other while they can, control us. It's gross work.
Yep, we're distracted fighting our neighbors.
Yep.
And our family members. And
I'm praying for us all,
Absolutely.
And hopefully we can get back to that. It's just right now, we are so severely fractured. It's very discouraging. But I still have hope somehow. I still have hope.
You gotta.
Right?
You really
gotta.
As black-pilled as everything is, you gotta have the hope, and you just gotta be positive and live life as best you can.
Yep. 100%. Well, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call.
Hey, one last thing.
Yeah.
I'll be real quick.
Go for it.
JFK got assassinated, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't see any footage for 12 years.
True.
So, and it's only a 26-second little film, crappy little film. How do we even know that he actually got assassinated?
Ooh, dang. I know. Look, we did a whole episode with a guy who breaks down the Zapruder film.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Zapruder film is a fabrication. The CIA took it at one point. It went to a Kodak or something in Rochester.
Yeah.
Second Rochester reference of the night. And they took it.
Yeah. And manipulated it.
Yeah. And you're right, caller. They gave us 12 years until I think Geraldo Rivera. We watched that episode.
Yeah.
They show us the
public had no idea. They just were like, oh, the president got assassinated,
Yep.
And went along with it. Meanwhile, no footage. And then I think it was like Walter Cronkite or somebody. What he said happened with JFK. His head went, he slumped forward or whatever the heck. And then it totally contradicts what's in the Zapruder film. And then you look into Zapruder and his connections.
Yeah, I know.
All those people that he wasn't even supposed to be turning down that way on Dealey Plaza.
He was told. This is a story. He was told to get his camera. He wasn't going to bring it.
Right.
And he brought. I personally think he's probably dead, but I think it's all theater.
Now he's got to be dead.
But I think, I mean, even from that, like, I think it's all theater around it. Like, I think that's what I meant by theater with real violence. I think they kill these people publicly for a fear ritual, but they inject it with so much confusion and chaos that we'll just debate it forever, and they can hide behind the illusion of the insanity of us trying to piece it together. But who knows? I'm open to anything. I don't think Andy Kaufman's dead. I
love that guy.
I think he's out there somewhere, maybe Tupac too. But it's so hard to know these days. And the Zapruder film is very bizarre. If we're gonna say JFK was assassinated, his brain is also missing from the archives. Who took it and why?
Yep. That magic bullet that's in perfect shape, pristine shape.
Yep. The Umbrella Man. I mean, the JFK, the whole thing is insane.
It is.
And if anyone has not seen the Umbrella Man testify before Congress, I think it's Congress, might be Senate. It's one of my favorite videos. Maybe one day we'll pull that up and watch it because it is wild. Because even that was like
bring that up
10 or 12 years after that happened. And he just happened to have the same umbrella. Wild story. Wild story. But yeah, great thought experiment. We should all be thinking that, with the weird theatrical world.
Yeah, you got to think the things that you don't want to believe to be true. You have to just, like, even if you don't want to hear the information or think that, you just got to put yourself out there and just contemplate it.
Yep.
It's hard to do. It's painful a lot of the times, but then, that's how you deduce things, and I don't know.
It's hopefully how you shatter that simulation they've put over us.
Yeah.
That's why they make you feel bad for asking these questions, because you'll be
like, right, you're ashamed.
How dare you? But I'm like, look, there's a long history of lies. I'm sorry. And you do weird things like this. Like, you fake deaths. You've done all, these weird experiments on us. So that's kind of like what I'm basing it on. I'm not just making this up. I'm like looking at history, and you've done this. You've admitted to doing this. So I'm going to apply your history to today.
Yep, and everybody else doesn't want to question it because you want to be loved and you want to fit in and all this stuff. And, sometimes you got to be the outcast.
Yep, I agree. All right, man, I appreciate that.
All right, thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Papa Bear Odin, thank you so much for that chat. You say, demons are real and apparently upset at us focusing on faith. Yeah, dude, they hate that. They don't want that at all. Glue Concern, I see you in the chats here. The CIA created the hippie movement for sure. They hijacked the counterculture movement. The anti-war movement was initially clean-cut guys, and they said, nope, can't have that. Turn them into hippies, give them acid, make them look crazy, and then cap off that decade with extreme violence, scare everybody, make them hate each other, and that's that. And that's what happened. Shall we do another caller?
Yeah. So, let's go to, I think I got TJP on the list next. Can't talk today. It's not happening. Nothing is working.
Are the gremlins going through the microphone?
It's the damn Rapture. We got 38 minutes until we all disappear. So,
what's up, boys?
What's up? Hey, I know this voice.
Yes, I've called in a few times. It's your everyday member of the LDS Church. Talking about the end of the world is one of my favorite subjects, so I figured I'd call in tonight.
And welcome back. The LDS Church, you guys have been prepping for this for quite some time.
So there's a whole bunch of different stuff. I got two things. I want to talk about the end of the world, and I do want to talk about the Charlie Kirk thing.
Yeah.
So I'm living in Utah. Mm-hmm. I literally live about 10 minutes away from where the whole incident happened.
Wow.
My father-in-law lives or works at UVU. He was in the building next to where it happened.
Wow.
And he is just shook up. Yeah. I mean, we're all just pissed off.
Yeah.
The shooter drove in 3 hours from out of town to do what he did.
Yep.
Like, wasn't a part of the community, wasn't going to UVU, wasn't doing anything like that. Yeah. And just despicable. I always like, it's rough.
Go ahead. Are the locals
Oh.
feeling any discrepancies with the narrative about that yet, or like what's the feeling?
No, we're all pretty sure it was this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Alone. There's some. I mean, the news reports say that they're investigating that if there was a group or not. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that we're getting.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, if it was him, I could believe it. If it was his roommate in quotation marks, I would believe it too. Like, I don't know. Salt Lake is jacked up and messed up. So at the end of the day, I have no idea.
What do you make of that photo that's been circulating of the alleged assassin in the Dairy Queen after?
I mean, we live like 5 minutes away from that Dairy Queen. So I hope it's not true. That is real close to home.
Have you been there since?
Yeah, I mean we not since, but like we drive by that Dairy Queen on probably once or twice a week.
Huh?
Like that's one of the routes that
people were saying they were debating its veracity because they said there was a Superman poster in there. But then, depending on who you listen to and who you believe, the Superman thing was there, and it was still. The promotion was still going on, and then other people look at the things that are like on display and they say, well, that started on September 1st, so it must be this time. But who knows?
Yeah, I have no idea. And I mean, the amount of police presence, because my work is literally about 6 minutes away from UVU too. And like, it was just all day nonstop. There was police like hunting the area. Like there was helicopters flying overhead. I work night shift, so I'm a night owl, and just all night, just helicopters flying over. There was just police lights going on nonstop, and they were looking for this guy.
That's a manhunt, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not fun.
I got to see something like that in Boston, actually, because we were there touring after the Boston bombing, and they were looking for...
Wow. Yeah, they were hiding in the boat or something.
That kid was actually hiding in a boat like 4 blocks from the venue that we were playing at. It was right by TT the Bears, and every cop... Like, every car that came down the block was a cop. I'm surprised. Like, we got out of there 3 hours before they shut the entire city down and locked it down.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, man.
That's a nuts thing to see.
Thing, dude, it hits home.
Yeah.
I'm 30 years old. I have 2 daughters, literally both the same age as Charlie Kirk's kids. Like, it's literally... And to be honest with you, like, he was a moderate. I like, at the end of the day, like... I have more right-leaning beliefs than he did.
Right.
And talking to my in-laws or extended family and everything else, who are all a bunch of whack job leftists, talking about how it was good riddance, he got shot. And I go to them, I'm like, I'm more conservative than him. I'm the same age. My kids are the same age. Would you say the same thing about me? And they just go fish mode where nothing comes out of their mouths. They just go,
ridiculous.
It drives me nuts, man.
Yeah, it's like you already have to deal with the grief of watching this man die in front of the whole world, and he was a good man. And then to add to that, the celebration from people on top of it, or the people who just don't think it's that big of a deal, I'm like, it makes it so much crazier.
It's so close to home, too, dude. It's like family members who live in the same area as us celebrating it. And it's sort of like, why are we celebrating death? Like if it was the same way when Ruth Bader Ginsburg died, I think she did more things to ruin this country than almost any other person.
Yeah, I agree.
But I didn't celebrate her death. I didn't post on social media. In fact, I posted. I said, "Hey, condolences to her family." Like that's what we wish for. Like when someone passes away, condolences to the family. I don't care if you were just a horrible individual. People don't deserve to die.
Right.
But just the fact that there was no common courtesy extended the other way just drives me nuts. Drives me up the wall.
It was, something else. It's crazy that you're that close to it. I'm so curious what's going to happen. So, there's so many weird stories that are coming out. It's hard to know what's true. I really like hearing from people who are close to it. You're hearing that the gun was dropped off in a wooded area. You're hearing that the gun was actually dropped off at like a chicken coop. It's like...
So... I've heard that. I think it was the wooded area. I mean, like we've been in the UV area, and when he drops down there, it's not like woods, but there's like there's like an area where there's like 8 or 9 trees.
Yeah.
So like, would you call that a wooded area? Maybe not. Maybe a grove of trees is what I would say. Right. But like that's the thing is, to this day, there's still so much speculation. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like. Feel horrible for the Kirks. Like
it's awful.
Erica's been a trooper too, though. I do not worry about where Turning Point's going.
Yeah,
I think they're in good hands. I think Erica is going to carry on the torch.
So. I enjoyed her speech. Very strong, tough speech. And did you say you had something you want to share about the end
Yeah,
times?
end of times.
Okay.
So the LDS Church, we're actually one of our biggest things is we believe in continuous revelation.
Explain
So
that.
Joseph Smith. So when Joseph Smith was called to be a prophet, he continues. He writes a whole bunch of revelations to the church, to the members of the church, to particular individuals, and all these other things. We call it the Doctrine and Covenants. So it's a compilation of all those revelations that contribute to the like the founding of the church, the organization of the church. It has a lot of like end time prophecies, and it has a whole bunch of other things in it as well. If you're interested, I would highly recommend reading it. You would probably really enjoy it because it has a whole bunch of things that you would probably find interesting.
What is it called?
Doctrine and Covenants.
Okay.
So, and if you go to LDS, if you go to the LDS website, we have the scriptures on there. You don't have to buy one. You can literally just look it up and just start reading through it. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's really interesting. Even if you're not LDS, there's a bunch of interesting theology that people outside the church have read and said, I don't agree with it, but it's an interesting point. So there's a bunch of it about the end of days too. So there's a whole bunch of prophecies about like, hey, these things have to happen. These things have to happen. A whole bunch of long list of things that have to happen before the second coming of Christ.
What are some of those?
Like, so for example, one of the prophecies is that the LDS Church, we have to establish New Zion, which is Jackson County, Missouri. That's where eventually we're all going to be called together. And that has to happen before the second coming happens, according to our scriptures, according to our beliefs. So when the LDS Church, when that call goes out and the Mormons start running towards Missouri, you guys know that something might be going down.
Are they going there? I take it you're not on the road right now.
No, no.
That's funny because I was actually curious about that too. I was thinking, I wonder if they're all heading to Missouri for the fallout.
Yeah. Like, we're not listening to some South African pastor.
Ah.
He's not saying anything about Jackson. Would you say Wyoming? No, Missouri.
Yeah, Jackson County, Jackson County, Missouri.
Yeah, we talked about this the last time he was on the show.
Right. But you do, so you wait for these things that have to happen for the rapture. And then what are some of the things? I forget. I think you told us you do prep to some degree.
Yeah. So in the church, we believe to be financially studious, where we try to have the least amount of debt possible, and being able to get out of that debt as quickly as possible as well, if needs be.
Me too.
We believe having 1 year's worth of food, 1 year's worth of water ready at all times.
Okay.
And now it varies between families. Some families have more, some families have less. It's not a commandment. The church just says, hey, sometimes it rains. Like Tim says, sometimes it rains, sometimes you need emergency food.
Yep.
It's never a bad thing if in the worst case you can just eat it.
Yep.
But
I think it's very smart. A lot of people, made fun of doom preppers before 2020, and they were chilling. I married a doomsday prepper, so it worked out well for me. She'd been prepping way before she met me, so when 2020 rolled around, we were ready to go.
Yeah, so in the Doctrine and Covenants, it has a whole bunch of other things that we believe have to happen before the second coming of Christ. But at the end of the day, I mean, Christ said it himself. No man knoweth the hour, and no man knoweth the time. Like only the Father knows when the second coming is going to happen.
Do the Mormons?
Like we can have. Go ahead.
Do the Mormons believe that all other denominations of Christianity will make it to heaven, or do you have to believe in Mormonism?
So there's. So I'll do a real quick plan of salvation kind of discussion. So we believe that there are three kingdoms of glory. That so it's celestial, telestial, terrestrial. Sea turtle is how we remember, or celestial, terrestrial, telestial. So to get to the highest form of glory, you have to 1, believe in Christ. 2, you have to have all the covenants that are available on the earth to be performed. So baptism, receiving the gift of the Holy Ghost, and then also the temple ordinances. So that's reserved for those. The next are basically all the good people on this planet. Everybody who is good, believe in Christ, but doesn't want to perform those covenants. That's kind of their area. And the last one is basically everybody else. And then there's one more below that we call outer darkness. So that would be Cain's going there. There's a whole bunch of different examples. If you knew Christ on a personal level and denied him, that is the place reserved for you, along with all Satan and all of his fallen angels.
So it's like a hell?
So it is worse than hell.
How?
So this is going into kind of my own beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
but I believe that there are evil people out there who have received bodies, and I believe those people are Satan's followers.
Okay.
I think there are some people who are not born with the light of Christ, and they are just evil through and through. I think they're far and few in between. I don't think there's a bunch of people out there. And again, there's a bunch of circumstances. Sometimes people had really rough childhoods, and they just are horrible people. That doesn't necessarily mean they don't have the light of Christ. But then you look at people like Ted Bundy, who his family was normal. He had a normal childhood. He was just an evil individual. That would be the prime example I point to say, I don't believe that dude has the light.
Because he did say he believed in Christ in the end. Do you know? Like he
yeah,
converted.
But Bundy said a lot of things that I'm like, I don't believe what he says.
He also spoke in the third person. I mean, he was psychotic.
Yes, and also he joined our church. He joined the Mormon church while he was out here.
Right. Oh.
You know. Anyways.
Wow. That's wild.
So, and our prophet said, the lowest kingdom reserved for basically all the wicked people on this earth.
Mm-hmm.
You would crawl through rusty nails and broken glass for 10 miles in order to get to that.
To get to the bad place.
To have an understanding, how we view heaven is even the lowest one is still a paradise. No sickness, no death. You have all your family members around. Like you have access to knowledge. You have access to all these different things. So when I say like, hey, these are the three kingdoms, you got to remember, getting to even the lowest kingdom is paradise on earth. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of our belief, is that's kind of our tiers of the kingdom. And we have it, there's references in the Bible that mention it and that kind of stuff. But again, that kind of comes from Doctrine and Covenants, is where we get a further explanation of that doctrine.
Fascinating. You guys prefer being called the LDS Church, right? You don't like
So I mean, cool. Like we call ourselves members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, because we do believe in Christ. That's one of the biggest things that people don't get wrong. We don't believe in the Trinity, but we believe that there is the Son, Jesus Christ. We believe in the Holy Ghost and God the Father as three unique individuals, but one in purpose and one in mind.
Interesting.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's interesting. Not how I see it, but yeah, I've always been fascinated talking to members of the LDS Church. It's always very interesting. And like
we love. I mean, that's the thing. I'll talk to anybody about it, and if you want to talk about it, great. But that's the other part about it. It's like I met with Jehovah's Witnesses for a while, and they were super pushy. So it's along those lines of I try to be very careful. Of like, hey, if you want to talk about it, great. I'm willing to talk about it. We can have our disagreements. We can have our different beliefs. But as long as people kind of understand where we're coming from, that like, yes, we are Christians. We don't necessarily believe in the Trinity how you believe it, but we are Christians. We believe in the same Jesus Christ. I believe Christ died on the cross for all of us, that he atoned for all of our sins, that he rose 3 days later, and that he conquered death. That way we can all conquer death.
Well, like we can agree on that. I love that. And of course, I have to say the LDS Church has the greatest doomsday bunker ever made.
Dude, up in the mountains, man. Drilling in the mountains. It'll be a shame we have to abandon it and go to Jackson County, dude.
Well, I'm taking that.
Hey.
I'm taking you guys.
I was going to say, if we see you guys going to Jackson, me and Shane are jumping in the truck, and we are heading up there and taking over the bunker.
Here's what I'll say. If that does happen, you got to remember the church is going to be moving a bunch of stuff out of there to Jackson County.
Okay, so I can furnish
I'll set up
myself.
a tent at the foothill near and just wait for them to evacuate fully, and then I'll
furnish it. I'll bring a nice little couch.
I hope they got internet, though. I like video games.
There might not be internet in that mountain, but man, it's always good to hear from you. Appreciate that phone call, and sorry to hear about your proximity to that tragedy.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy, man. Charlie Kirk was a great man, and it's just a shame that we lost him. I think that I think modern day Martin Luther King is a good way to explain it. Except Martin Luther King has a bunch of blemishes that it's like, anyways.
He was better than Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King
100%.
slept with prostitutes and cheated on his wife.
Oh yeah, 100%. Martin Luther King has a bunch of things that nobody talks about because he is the leader of the civil rights movement, and a lot of good things came from him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very imperfect man, and Charlie Kirk was imperfect. I guarantee you that there was plenty of things that Charlie was working on.
We all are.
But at the end of the day, I think there's unfortunately this horrible circumstance. There's going to be a silver lining of. I think people are waking up. I think people are saying enough is enough, and we're not gonna take it anymore. We're not gonna take it lying down. We're not gonna say oh, you can say whatever you want to say. You're not gonna say whatever you want to say. That this is not okay.
Yep.
There's a common decency that we all have to have for a polite society to be here, and we need to start enforcing that. Yep. Make insane asylums great again. If you have blue hair, insane asylum. If you think you're a man in a woman's body, insane asylum. If you voted for Kamala Harris, maybe insane asylum. We'll have to see on that one. If you're on SSRIs, insane asylum.
Yep.
And hey, let's make them nice. Nice padded rooms, well lit, well fed, but still insane asylum.
Fair enough. I love it. Thanks, man. Appreciate the call.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Chan. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
See ya.
Get Triggered. Thank you so much for the chat. Wally Gorbachev here. Throwing you a 20 for your performance against the cloud seeding ghoul tonight. I was in that guy's YouTube shorts a few days ago, lighting him up. Hope you're well. God bless. Yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was just prepared for another Monday doing IRL. And then there, lo and behold, the fake cloud guy was going to be on. You got to be kidding me. Always good. Always good. That was a fun episode.
The context of being in somebody else's YouTube shorts.
Ooh, when you put it like that, dude, come on. Come on now.
I was trying to get it to go. It's the devil on the other shoulder, right?
All right. Let's try to get to another caller. We're here till 12, everybody. Time. Thank you guys for hanging out.
We're here till the rapture.
Yeah.
I was telling people in chat, I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure that if the rapture does strike at exactly 12 p.m. Eastern time, then it is going to, in turn, give the 1 hour grace period to the next time zone before it decides to consume it. So, like, if you see the Eastern time zone just disappear at midnight, you guys have an hour to get your shit together. If you're Central Time.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Is that how God
you guys
recognize time zones?
I'm pretty sure the rapture is happening on it. Okay. That's only if it happens at midnight, though, right? Because technically it's not tomorrow yet for like the rest of the country, just us. So they gotta wait still for rapture. So
interesting. I like how that works.
Keep an eye on
us. You guys in the chat saying Mormons to the asylum. Not nice. Oh, he was nice.
I mean, in fairness, he said people with blue hair are going into the asylum. How many times has your hair been blue? Because mine's been blue probably like 6 times, and I was never.
I've had blue hair a few times.
That was just because it looked awesome.
But that was like before this stuff. That's when I was going to Hot Topic.
It was like punk rock and shit. Yeah, like All right, well, whatever. There has to be a vetting process for people whose hair has been dyed, in my opinion. If you're gonna,
that's probably why I'm going bald now.
You got to
all the times I've dyed
20-point questionnaire or something, about your...
Crash Override says Shane looks at fake clouds like Henry Hill looked at helicopters.
Jesus.
Oh, man. The native flowers, those clouds get you every time. Man, they do.
All right.
They really do.
So, again, like, comment, subscribe, share. Thanks for hanging out. We got about 17 minutes before we all disappear. Let's get Sid Templeton in here on the phone.
Get Triggered commented again. Thanks for the chat. Said YouTube shorts. Ha.
Yeah.
You got him.
Got him. Sid, can you hear us?
Hello. Fake clouds. Asylum.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
I can.
Oh, not much. Well, I got a couple, 2 different topics I could talk about. I could keep going on the rapture topic, or we could do the paralysis sleep demon.
I want to hear both, but since we're on the rapture topic, we got to do it.
Yeah, we got 16 minutes.
Tell us.
All right, so the last LDS guy already beat me to John 14, or no, not John 14. Matthew 24:36, that only the Father knows when the rapture will happen or when the end of days will occur. Personally, I don't think the rapture is going to happen at the very beginning of the trials and tribulations. I think the Bible's fairly clear that if anything like that happens, it'll be halfway through. So we're going to see some of it at least. Okay, so before I was born, a preacher told my mom that I would be a prophet, and I never believed it. Actually, I spent most of my life out of the church. Rebelled in my teenage years, went all socialist anarchists and all that crap, and then slowly started coming back to, making sense and not thinking the world owed me everything. But so like the first time I had a dream, and then something ended up actually happening in the real world. It was a dream about a friend of mine from high school that I hadn't even talked to in years. I was living in another state, staying with my aunt on her little farm slash commune slash hoarder house.
Okay.
It was fun times. But so I had a dream about my friend, and I see her, and she falls over. She can't breathe. She's having a horrible time, and I wake up the next day. I don't have any contact with her at this point in time, so I call her brother, and I'm like, "Hey, how's Kayla? Is everything going okay?" And he was like, "Oh man, she just had her baby last night. There were some complications, but her and the baby are all good." He was like, "Why are you calling me asking me about this?" And I was like, "Oh, well, I had this dream about her," and explained it to him. And he was like, "Well, that's kind of crazy." And then, like I said, at that point, not reading the Bible, I really just got back into religion, probably here, or not really religion, Christianity here in the last year. But then here recently, we had a big thing in my family where we found out that, my sister got dosed with fentanyl. And the night she got dosed, I had this crazy dream, and I didn't know what it meant until like afterwards. Because I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought it was a really weird dream. Like, I mean, it was really fucked up, because it's like, who wants to have a dream like it was like my sister was trying to seduce me, and it was just really weird and off-putting. And like in the dream, I had to go to another room, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then later on, her ex-husband picks her up from this drug house that she's stuck at. And then I'm thinking to myself, and I was like, oh, that wasn't her. That was this demon of addiction, which I was also going through. I just quit drinking like a week ago. Like, I've been drinking for 15, 20 years now. So I don't know, it was odd. And then here recently, right before the Charlie Kirk murders, I had another dream. And in this dream, me and my sister are driving down the road, and there's all these like demonic shadow-like figures that keep coming at us. And we're trying to swerve around them, and we get to this building, and we go inside, and then we see even more of them. And then there's one of them, it's like it tries to affect my brain, like it's trying to take over my brain, and I have to fight it off. And I do. And then my sister says something about Luke. So the next day I read Luke, but also like right towards the end of the dream, something inside me said, the veil has been lifted. And then right after that, Charlie Kirk died. And then we just saw all these demonic people all over the internet just laughing and cackling like they're straight out of the pits of hell.
Right.
And it got me thinking. And then last night, I have another dream, which I don't believe this guy that the rapture is going to happen tomorrow. He doesn't know. Nobody knows. The fact that he told Jesus Christ, the fact that he said Jesus Christ told him, makes me know it's all a lie, because it would have to be God coming to him and telling him, which I don't know. But so last night I have a dream where my friends are like, I don't know if they were like kidnapped or what, but I had to go underground into this cave to go find them. And I'm going down there, and I find my friends, and I find this woman, and we're making our way out, and something tells me that right now I'm living with the loyalty of my friends, but soon I am looking for a bride. And that reminded me of a scripture. Let me see if I can find it here. I think I wrote it down. Revelations 19:7. Let us rejoice and exult and give him the glory, for the marriage of the Lamb has come, and the bride has made herself ready. So that's talking about the end of times when Christ does come back for us. And also, something about all of this woke stuff that's been going on lately also reminded me of the Bible. 2 Thessalonians 2:11. Therefore, God sends them a strong delusion so that they may believe what is false. And I think that's why all these people are believing in all of these crazy things, because they already had that evil in their heart. And God specifically gave them more of that delusion so that all the rest of us, everybody who has any thought in their brain, can see how fake and false and demonic some of the things that they believe is.
Yeah, I think you're onto something with that. I mean, the way we saw people respond afterwards is wild, and the way you put it with the veil lifting, that did, in many ways felt like that. It's weird. I've seen a lot of. Oh, there was a microphone. I've seen a lot of weird things about dreams leading up to Charlie's assassination. Even James O'Keefe, I don't know if you saw that. He put out a tweet saying he had like a crazy dream. I think it was like some weird thing calling him in a dream, and he felt like it was a premonition. But yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah, but that.
You there? Hello? Uh-oh. Are you there? Well, if you can hear us, we appreciate
Hold on.
that. Oh,
I'm getting.
there's a strange sound in the background.
Hello?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear us?
Hey, yeah, my audio got mixed up there for a second.
It's all good. But I appreciate. Did you have anything else you want to add before we head out?
No, I think that should be it for me. I'll try calling in again some other time, and we can talk about those
sleep demons.
Yeah.
Sleep paralysis.
Yeah, I can tell you none of mine have ever had a hat, though. I remember seeing that one of the past episodes. And
all right, good.
I've never seen that one.
When you disappeared for a split second, someone in the chat said, was he raptured? Well, it's tomorrow, so not yet. But thanks, man. I appreciate the phone call.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too. I wanted to read this chat I saw over here. Oh, my goodness. It's from Son of Nothing. I know this person. Son of Nothing. I think this is a play on a song by the great band Between the Buried and Me. The rapture is like Y2K, the Mayan calendar, and climate change. Every time it doesn't happen, we make a new date. Tim set you up with the cloud guy. Well, it will happen, Son of Nothing, but these are all false predictions. But yeah, no. I don't know. Tim doesn't book the show. He's got a booker. But they certainly knew to put him on a Monday.
You think Lisa knew what was happening? She's like, oh, I'm putting him in on a Monday for sure.
I do. I did not talk to her, but my gut says she knew. Hey, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. I was looking to have that conversation for a long time now, and I'm glad we had just a little bit of it. 11:53. Well, my goodness, this one flew by. Every time I touch this microphone, it feels like it's
I had that fixed.
It's just me.
I don't know what you did.
I'm sorry.
I'm at the point now where like I'm gonna replace that like entire damn thing over there. We're gonna have to get you like a whole new, because I don't know at this point. I don't know what's causing it.
Oh man, I'm so sorry.
I gotta check cable. I gotta check mic one more time. I'll probably see if I can get around to that tomorrow. But
I'm gonna read this. If you want to try to pull it up, it's from. I meant to do this last week.
What do you got?
But it kind of fits in with the Rapture Bible talk. It's in the Daily Mail. The headline is Mysterious Ancient Papyrus Confirms Bible Story of the 10 Plagues. Obviously, I wanted to talk about Charlie last week, so I didn't get to a lot of stories I had planned. But since we're talking about the end times in the Bible, I figure we'll just end this night real quick on something lighthearted, like the plagues.
Well, you got 6 minutes before we all vanish into thin air, bud.
Good. An ancient Egyptian manuscript may prove the biblical 10 plagues described in the book of Exodus. Known as the... Why do I got to say do words I can't read? Come on now. I'm like Trump talking about Tylenol today. Known as the Ipuwer Papyrus. Sue me, Ipuwer.
We'll take it.
Yeah, that works. The document takes the form of poetic lament attributed to a scribe named Ipuwer. It recounts widespread catastrophes and societal upheaval in ancient Egypt, describing the famine, mass death, and environmental disasters. So right now, in America, according to Exodus, God sent a series of devastating afflictions, including turning the Nile to blood, swarms of locusts, the Locust is a great band, by the way, and 3 days of darkness to convince the Pharaoh to free the Israelites from slavery.
You know, it's funny. It didn't. Was it last summer where we got completely swarmed with locusts?
This summer. Just now.
I mean, I saw like 2.
Oh, really?
I'm talking about like last year. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before because my mind is so warped from getting old. It's terrible. But we were literally swimming in cicadas for like 3 months.
Here or in Chicago? Oh, wow. Interesting.
Like the Midwest was so heavily infested in them. There were...
Oh.
They were like in the air you were breathing.
Okay.
You couldn't get from your car to your home without being dive bombed by several of these. You couldn't walk into a store without stepping on 50 of them on your way in, just crunching underneath your feet, dead all over the place.
We didn't have it like that this year. We did have them, but not like that.
It was something nuts. It was like 2 or 3 different species or something all happening at the same time. It was some weird...
Gross.
Apocalyptic event where all 3 species just happened to come back the same year, and we got like some of the worst of it. It was bad.
Yeah, they're weird.
That's interesting.
The Ipuwer, I'm going to say it different every time. Papyrus appears to describe many of these same events. As one line reads, "There's blood everywhere. Lo, the river is blood," mirroring the Nile turning to blood in the Bible.
Didn't we recently see something about?
Yes.
Was it the Baltic Sea?
No, it was. I think it was the Sea of Galilee or something.
It was Galilee, wasn't it? Hang on. I'm pretty sure. Get off of this so I don't throw anything stupid up here. But I think.
Yeah. Sea of Galilee turned red. That was recently. I think they say this happens every now and then. They blamed it on algae, by the way.
5 days ago. Prophecy has begun. So that's 2 now.
Great.
We had the locust invasion last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Sea of Galilee turned red this year. So we have a third here?
Oh, boy. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of plagues. Boils, you know.
What was in the art? Was there another one in the article? Another sign?
In this one?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Or is it just those 2?
Let's see here. Moses and Aaron did as the Lord commanded. In the sight of Pharaoh and in the sight of his servants, he lifted the staff and struck the water in the Nile. And all the water in the Nile turned into blood. Okay, we know that's from Exodus. The papyrus also describes environmental devastation. Lo, trees are felled, branches stripped. I mean...
And there are hurricanes supposed to be happening?
Yeah, likely reflecting the hailstorm that destroyed crops. And lo, it says...
Lo.
Fake clouds. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, my God.
Rainmaker, no. But perhaps. Lo, grain is lacking on all sides, illustrating widespread famine. While the papyrus, now housed in the Dutch National Museum of Antiquities, was discovered in the early 19th century, it has resurfaced on social media. So this is old. Where users are amazed that they have never heard about the manuscript and believe it proves the Bible to be true. The Bible recounts that God sent... Okay, you guys know that. I'm not going to give you the history on the Exodus. It's a great story, and I highly recommend reading it. It's amazing. It's one of the first instances of dark magicians, black magic being used, like the CIA today. The Pharaoh's magicians are like the CIA today. Go read it. It's amazing. I love the book of Exodus. It's so fascinating. And for the Christians out there who haven't read it through the Christian lens of seeing like that Trinitarian interpretation is fascinating. But I just want to say I don't need science to confirm my faith. I think it's fascinating. I don't need proof. The proof comes from my heart. So that's that. But I thought that was interesting because people, it's good. It's like people talking about the Shroud of Turin. Fascinating, but I don't need it to make me feel a certain way. But I'm very fascinated. Wow, 11:59. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. This was a really fun episode.
It was a great life, too.
Great life. It was nice knowing you, Brandon.
We had a great life. We had a great time. We got to 111 episodes.
That's a very symbolic sounding episode.
Untimely demise.
Yeah.
111.
Oh man. Well, perhaps I'll see you tomorrow. Perhaps I'll see all you tomorrow. Brandon, tell everybody where they can find you.
You guys can find me, as always, at Brando Inverted on Insta and on X. Thank you guys all for hanging out. It's 12 o'clock and we're still sitting here, so maybe we'll see you later today. Try not to get raptured in the middle of the night, and don't forget to stay weird if you do survive the rapture. Thanks for hanging out. Shane.
Robert, I see you out there. Yes, you can call and talk Revelation sometime. You know where to find us. Guys, thank you so much for joining us on this Monday night. It was a pleasure. It's always great to talk to you. Thank you for cracking me up in the chat. Thank you for wandering over here after IRL tonight. That was a fun one. We will be here tomorrow. I hope you have a great night. See y'all then.